Your father played in the NFL. What was it like growing up from an ex-NFL player that played 11 years? And, growing up, everybody's saying, you're the next. You're going to be the next guy in the family. You're going to be the guy that's going to get there again. And we've seen a lot of kids that come from families and fathers that played in the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, the MLB, and they're always going to be compared to their dads. You're practically the same size as your father, and practically the same weight as your father when he played in the NFL. What could you say your father did as a kid that pushed you to become the player that you are today?
I feel like just instilling in me the work ethic. Like we're not the biggest guys, the strongest, the fastest, or whatnot. But the thing that my dad had and that he's instilled in me is to have like a little bit of an edge in that work ethic, like having that mindset that no one's going to outwork you. And that's something that he instilled for me when I was little, just being like, you always have to do more. You can't do the bare minimum. There's always to do because everyone's working hard. But what are you doing on top of working hard? Those little things that are going to separate you. So those are one of the biggest things I learned about him is being able to really take to heart, how important sleep is, hydration, just eating, stretching, watching film, like those things that some guys aren't doing a lot of, and being able to just build a lot of equity, build a foundation, and stacking those days up on top of each other. Because those little things that you're doing to get better every single day is really adding up. And by the end of as you're continuing to work, it's going to build up so much equity that you have a huge, huge lead on the other people that aren't working as hard. So that's something that he's really instilled in me, that work ethic and, having to do more. So that was really, really awesome to be able to have him as a dad to be able to teach me those things.
Elijah, you want to see what I hydrate myself with? This is great for you. Okay, here you go. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, I am selling it right now.
That'll get the job done.
Well, I'm not about to, play college ball in, Division I ball or go to the NFL. So, you have to have fun. I do work out and I do take care of myself. I'm in pretty good shape, but, I like this stuff, man. It really hydrates me.
You got to treat yourself every now and then.
Oh, I treat myself all the time.
So you were talking about your dad too. Like, is there any other players, like his former teammates, that you have encounters with, either at your childhood or even when you were getting into high school football, that maybe have given you some advice as well, or even some experiences with?
Yeah, I've actually had a lot of different conversations with NFL players that he's played with or crossed paths with. So being able to have that, and as growing up and even to now having those connections to be able to call different guys has been awesome. It was last year I talked with Marshall Faulk for 2 hours. He was just sitting down with me, just telling me about watching film and things that he did to separate himself. I always tell this one story about this was in seventh or eighth grade, and I didn't know if I wanted to play football anymore. And it was something that I kind of had my mind set up. I was like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I really love the game and whatnot. And I get a call from my dad, and he's like, hey, I got someone who wants to talk to you on the phone. I was like, okay, who is this? And he's like, it's Bo Jackson. I'm like, Bo Jackson. And then he puts Bo Jackson on the phone, and I talk with Bo Jackson. He's on the phone for 30 minutes, just telling me about why I should play football, and ended up playing football. And I guess it's worked out pretty well for me going forward. So those are kind of little things that I've been able to have growing up, and being able to have those connections and meet different NFL players. And they all offer a lot of great perspectives. Had a lot of talks with Curtis Martin, really, really humble. He's a humble dude. You wouldn't know he's a Hall of Fame running back. And I just really respected, because I think when I talked to him, I was still in high school, and, he was really, really busy, but he really took the time to sit down and talk with me. And, a guy like that who's got so many different things going on, had to make different appearances, for him to sit down and even have that conversation with a high school player and be able to instill on me different advice and things that I need to be working on, and things that he did in the NFL that led him to have such a successful career. I just really admired and respected a lot, because, someone of his caliber type play, being able to take that time to talk with me. So I really, really respected Curtis. My dad is great friends with Curtis still to this day. So he's a really, really good person and friend of the family.